Good morning. This is Debra V. Wilson. I'm in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and that's in Canada. The date is the 29th of July, 2017. That's Saturday, and the day is Saturday, and the time is 1100 hours and 4 minutes, and that's GMT minus 6. Today's podcast is entitled I Challenge. Nearly a year ago, almost a year ago, I started this YouTube channel. It's been a work in progress for me. It is to augment my academic research around security experiences of civil society, and what those experiences do to the national security models, understanding it from the bottom up perspective. And whilst doing that research, I continue to challenge and question how we construct and assign meaning to the concept of peace building, and security modeling. I continue to maintain that peace building is defined as something softer. It's defined as something more quote unquote feminine, softer. The construct of female tends to be a softer construct. And I would continue to maintain that security, the construct, tends to be stronger, harder, more direct, which is how we tend to construct male identity globally. Typically, when we think of peace builders, we are more likely to think of the female voice or a softened male voice. However, in some of the world's most protracted and, dare I say, public, in quotes, conflicts that are resolved through peace builders, those are still headed by men. They tend to be headed by men, those teams, or they're all men. So, in cases of important matters of peace building, societies collectively seem to still want the male voice. I would challenge that peace building and security modeling are the same. I would challenge the narrative of how we define peace building, and I would say there is no peace building. The possibility doesn't exist without facilitating spaces of security for all voices involved. I would challenge the notion of who we trust and why we trust to do security modeling, whether it is the traditional construct of a strong male militarized presence. And I say presence because there are women in security modeling, national security modeling, but those women tend to emulate the construct of being a badass woman, being a strong woman, I'm going in the front door and I'm kicking it in. That's typically the construct of security. Whether that kicking it in is you're going in with the military, you're going in with the armed police, or with the mother of all bombs. That's typically how we are describing security. I challenge that narrative. I challenge the thought that feminists cannot step into a space and maintain your integrity of feminism with its constructs and do national security modeling. I challenge the narrative that if you're going to do national security modeling, you have to think like the boys. I challenge the thought that the boys have to think like the boys. One of the things I've noticed, and I'm fairly confident about speaking from a position of authority on this topic, is that constructs are just constructs. And one of the interesting things about this journey that is my life, I've had the interesting opportunity of constantly stepping out of my constructed identity. Some of that is because I was blessed with wonderful parents and an incredibly amazing father who would have never defined himself as a feminist, but told me early on, your journey is just that. Your journey, your life is just that. It's between you and the Creator, what you do with your life. Your mother and I are only here to prepare you for that journey. But what you decide to do is what you decide to do. And then, as life would have it, I started my journey with wonderful parents, and then I continually stepped out of my politically constructed identities of who I was supposed to be, and where I was supposed to place. And part of my journey has included, I met people in what was the Irish Republican Army. I met people in the United Kingdom through my activism in Special Branch, a part of the Metropolitan Police. I've met people from MI5. And I've talked to a person or two that civilians have told me was a member or an MI6 person. I've met people from Israeli intelligence. I've met persons, current and not current, from CSIS. That's the Canadian Security Intelligence Service. I'm nearly a senior citizen. My education, my training, and my paid career when I lived in the United States was as an accountant. Activism, my feminist-based activism, took me to London, England. In London, England, well, if you've been there, she is the world. And in London, England, because of her unique security dynamics and challenges, presented loads of opportunities to step out of your constructed identity. What is a woman? What's a feminist? What's an older woman? What is the female voice? I was again, along with hundreds of other women, presented with opportunities to give voice, my voice, to spaces that you don't typically find the female voice. The space I chose was understanding how national security models are experienced by civilians from the bottom up. I've come to the conclusion at 59 years of age that security modeling and peace building are identical. I've come to the conclusion that there is no peace unless voices, parties involved feel there is security. That to facilitate peace and maintain peace, parties, voices involved need to believe that they will either have or the possibility exists of achieving sustained peace for their particular quote-unquote group identity. In London, England, I had the opportunity, and I took it, to challenge the ways in which the state did security modeling. I challenged and took the opportunity to understand the ways in which the state security modeling was actually an anathema to security, to peace. I took the opportunity to confront the state directly. I challenged, I thought, I participated. I'm now in Canada. Amongst the groups of people I've had the opportunity to meet as I continue to step out of my assigned political identity, which the picture on my YouTube page will tell you, I'm black, I'm female, I'm older. See all the white hair? If you look really closely, you'll see I have bifocals on. They're no line, but they're still bifocals. I'm an older woman. I'm American. I've also had the opportunity to be in spaces with Israeli intelligence. I've had the opportunity to be in spaces with members of Fatah. And the one thing my ongoing journey has told me to continually understand politically constructed roles, identities, assigned meanings, politically assigned meanings, continually challenge them for their functionality, effectiveness, and impact on the collective that is the whole, that would be society. To take what I think is the best, to challenge what I think is the worst, to continue to learn, continue to grow, and continue to understand national security modeling from a civilian perspective, and to challenge the state on things I think she can do better. I continue to challenge, I continue to grow, I continue to learn. In the upcoming weeks, months, I'm still working on some things. I will be doing more research here in Canada around national security modeling and experiences from civil society. In addition to that, I will be returning to Israel to get as close as I can to the national security model, which is not easy in Israel. It's not easy. It's a precarious situation there. But I'm going to try. I will continue to hopefully engage with a multitude of voices, Israeli voices and Palestinian voices. I did say I challenged, didn't say it was easy. And I'm hoping to soon return to the United Kingdom to do more learning, to do more research with feminists and a multitude of other politically constructed identities. This is Debra V. Wilson. I'm in Winnipeg, Manitoba. It is Saturday, the 29th of July, 2017. Thank you.